Real quick, like I said, this is Ali from Kajabi. Kajabi is my favorite all-in-one marketing platform that I have been a paying customer of for 2.5 years now. And man, there's so much I could say about them. So I'm going to keep this as short as possible. I actually made like 2 little slides just to go over what Kajabi is if you've never heard of it before, if you're brand new to online business and trying to understand what tools you need to help you grow your business. I just wanted to give you the resources that I wish I had had when I first joined this crazy world of online entrepreneurship. So let me quickly share my screen so I can go over why I personally love Kajabi so much. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. So if you have any questions already top of mind, please feel free to drop it in the chat. I know Allie's going to be looking at that too. So here we go. All right. Can everybody see this?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to present it full screen. I know Facebook is lagging just a second. So,
okay.
Oh, perfect. There we go. All right. So as you guys know, because I've been emailing you about it, Kajabi is having a special deal right now where you can get 3 months for $99 total, which I have to tell you, in all the years that I have been a Kajabi user, this has never happened before. So this is not some like fake, like, oh, this is, the best deal ever. This really is the best deal I've ever seen on Kajabi. So if you are someone who's been thinking of using this platform or switching over, please do not miss out on this opportunity to try them out for 3 months. It's basically $33 a month when you break it down. And that's like an 80% discount from what the normal monthly subscription cost is. So if you want to give it a try, go to ellenyin.com/Kajabi99, and that'll direct you to the special sale that's only available until July 26th. Now, the reason that I use and love Kajabi primarily is because I think the simplicity is the best that I have seen in the industry, and they have superior support. So if any of you guys are like me and you hate having to deal with complicated tech integrations, creating a million Zapiers for everything, Kajabi is great because they keep everything under one roof. So I actually host my entire online business in Kajabi. I have my website in Kajabi, my blog, all of my courses, my membership site, my sales pages and sales funnels, my checkout cart. It's all hosted within one platform. So I don't have to constantly check if any tech is broken between multiple different things. They also have a super intuitive page and product editor for design challenged people like myself. And like many of you, I like that live support aspect so that you don't have to submit a help ticket and wait weeks on end for someone to get back to you. So if you're a Kajabi user, you know and love their live chat people, you can get help ASAP when you actually need it. So you have access to their live support no matter what plan you're on. And for the basic plan, it's 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you're on the growth plan or above, you actually get 24/7 live support, which is insanely helpful when you're up late sometimes and something breaks and you're like, help, I need help right now. They also have a ton of incredible special features that I won't go too deep into today, but I just wanted to spend one quick minute breaking down what all is included in their platform so you really understand all the different tools that are available to you if you decide to try Kajabi. And then we're going to open it up for Q&A. So if you're just joining us now, we're just finishing up this quick overview of what Kajabi is, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. So Kajabi, basically, here are all the different things that Kajabi is capable of doing for you in your online business. And I wanted to compare the cost of Kajabi to what it would cost you if you had to purchase each of these functionalities on a different platform. And when you're purchasing, all these different functionalities on different softwares, not only do you end up paying a lot more, but you actually also waste a lot of time and frustration on trying to connect all of these things and getting these different tech pieces to talk to one another. So here I'm comparing it to the flat fee of $149 a month, which is their basic plan, their normal price for the basic plan. Obviously, like I mentioned just a moment earlier, right now, Kajabi is having that special deal where you can get 3 months for $99. And so if you want to get that deal, just make sure you go to ellenyin.com/Kajabi99. But let's take a look at this. So I host my website on Kajabi. If I was to host my website somewhere else and use a website builder like Squarespace, which I know is really popular, I'd have to pay about $18 a month for that. I host all of my video content for my courses and my webinar on Kajabi, and video hosting is 100% free to you as a Kajabi user. You don't have to pay anything extra for that. And Kajabi uses a software called Wistia to do that, and they foot the bill for that, which is, I know Ali can talk more about that in a bit, but that's incredible, because if we had to normally pay for secure video hosting through a platform like Vimeo, that would be another $12 a month out of my pocket. Now, all of my landing pages. So if you've ever bought anything from me, or if you've ever, gone through one of my sales funnels, that's all built in Kajabi. So I get full access to their landing pages. They have incredibly beautiful, easy to edit templates that you can start with, or you can build from scratch. And a popular landing page software that you guys may have heard of is Lead Pages. So if I were to have to pay for that functionality separately on a different software, that would be another $37 a month. Now, the checkout cart, this is how people actually pay you, right? Like if you create an offer, whether it's a coaching offer, or whether it's a course, or whether it's a consulting, someone booking time with you, you can host all of that in Kajabi, and people can pay you directly through Stripe or PayPal, which is really convenient. And the checkout cart is great in Kajabi because they take 0% transaction fees from you. It's just whatever transaction fees Stripe normally or PayPal normally takes, which I think is like right under 3%. But with Kajabi, they don't take anything extra from you, which is great. So you get to keep all of your hard-earned money there. And by utilizing Kajabi's checkout cart, I'm not having to pay an additional like $50 a month for an external cart. And then, as you can see, these other things, sales funnels, email marketing, course and membership platform, and evergreen webinars, all of these things you can utilize inside Kajabi if you want. And as you can see, if you add up the cost of all of these individual softwares, you're spending close to $350 a month, if not more, every single month just to run your online business. And with Kajabi, you can cut that rate in half. And during this special deal, you can cut it by like 80 to 90%, which is insane. So I just wanted to show that to you guys real quick, so you know what an incredible deal Kajabi really is. But this isn't about my experience with Kajabi. This is all about you guys. So I wanted to now open it up for any Q&A from you guys on Kajabi, on running an online business using different softwares. Let's open the floor.
Yeah, we already have a question that came in, and I just wanted to add a little bit of color into what Ellen just shared about the feature set that is included in Kajabi. We actually just announced 3 new product additions when you sign up for Kajabi. So now we offer the ability to host podcasts. We offer in the future, it's coming in, I would say, a couple of months. We definitely don't have a specific timeline, but it's coming very, very soon. We have the ability to do coaching within Kajabi. So you'll be able to schedule out your individual coaching clients. You'll be able to track progress, have a login for your coaching clients to go in and keep notes on their sessions, track when their sessions are, schedule new sessions. It's basically like a mini CRM for your coaching clients specifically. So that's coming to the platform in addition to paid newsletters. So if you think of a software like Substack or something that you can use to actually sell your newsletter emails on, we are now offering the ability to do that. So those 3 additions as well, podcasting available now where you can do public or private podcasts, coaching and newsletters. So just wanted to make sure I added those in as we just announced them. But I do see a great question from Taylor, which is, do you think Kajabi is good for someone who is just starting their business? And I actually think that Kajabi is awesome if you're just starting your business, and probably, Ellen, you can keep me honest here, but probably easier than if you have a fully built out business already. And I say this because, like she just went over in one of those slides, you have everything under one roof. So I know it might seem very daunting as a new business owner to log in and to say, oh my gosh, I can build my website and I can do emails and I can do automations and podcasting now and all of this stuff. It might feel very overwhelming, but I can guarantee you that if you start with Kajabi and you build toward the business that you want, meaning you start with, maybe you're a coach and you go in and you use our coaching feature and you take your clients online and use the coaching feature. And then you want to start a podcast. And so you do that in Kajabi. And then you want to have a website because you want people to, you want a place to drive traffic to and collect leads. You can do that on Kajabi. Whereas if you were starting from scratch with all of these individual softwares, the thing that I like to paint the picture of is not only do you have to learn every individual software that you're choosing to use if you don't use Kajabi. So, a course hosting platform, a website platform, an email platform, a podcasting platform. If you choose to go that route and piece everything together, you're going to have to learn every individual software. And then on top of that, every software has a different way of, in business, we call speaking to one another, right? So you have to connect every software together. So your emails need to connect to your course to be able to grant access, and your website needs to connect to your email marketing so that when someone opts in on your website, it goes to your email marketing software. And so you'd have to learn not only, a handful of different softwares, but you also have to learn how to make them talk to one another. And that can be very time consuming and also very difficult because every software is developed differently, right? Whereas in Kajabi, if you start with Kajabi and you build, a website, or you build an email, or you build a podcast, you'll notice that it's all designed very similarly. So once you learn how to use our page builder, you pretty much know how to use our email editor, and you pretty much know how to use our course builder, and you pretty much know how to X, Y, and Z. And so I definitely think that if you are starting out and you're brand new, especially with this 3 months for $99 promo that we have going on right now, you have basically no barrier to your success because you have 3 months to just figure out if Kajabi is what you can use to get your business off the ground, figure out the software, learn it, maybe even launch a course within that 3 months, or launch a podcast, or whatever you want to do, and really figure out if it's the right thing for you while only risking $33 a month. So I definitely would encourage you to start with Kajabi. And going back to what I said at the beginning, when you're starting, or if you're not new to business and you have all these different softwares, I always recommend that you start moving to Kajabi one piece by one piece at a time, so you don't overwhelm yourself. So in the end, I think it's better if you're just now starting out, just to jump into Kajabi and see if you can make it all work, because eventually you're going to probably need to consolidate into one tool anyway, and moving every individual piece of software over will take a lot of time and a lot of effort. But Ellen, I don't know if you have an opinion or thought around that as well.
Yeah. So to Allie's point, I didn't have a website at all my first year of business. And when I did finally decide to create, an online presence outside of social media for myself, Kajabi was where I started. And I'm so grateful that that is where I started, because like Allie said, it is so overwhelming, especially to someone who is not, very tech oriented, to have to learn a bunch of different softwares and then try to make all of those individual softwares work together. So for me, years and years and years ago, I used to have a blog on WordPress, and I never edited that thing because if I had to add any one thing, I would just get overwhelmed. I'd be like, I don't know what to do. So I'd always have to, email my designer and be like, hey, can I pay you, an extra $100 to add this thing for me? Because I don't know, I think I messed something up. With Kajabi, it was so seamless for me because their visual editors are so good. Like if you just click on the whatever portion of the page you want to edit, it auto populates. All right, this is probably what you're trying to edit. And it just makes it such a seamless experience. So I definitely think it's very beginner friendly. And the best part is, if you ever get stuck, you're not alone. You have the live support access at your availability when you need it. And then also, Kajabi does a lot of live trainings very frequently. I know you guys, I think like every single week you're doing free trainings. And when you first join Kajabi, you also get a one-on-one consultation with someone directly from Kajabi's team. So you get to hop on Zoom for 45 minutes and they can literally help you build stuff in real time during that call, answer all your questions, help you with strategies. So I hope that helps, Taylor.
Yeah. And Taylor, I totally hear having to budget accordingly. And I think that's what inspired this kind of promotion that we have going on, because we hear that a lot of, the 14-day free trial is great to like go in and see what Kajabi offers, but it's not enough time for me to really feel confident in the $149 a month investment. And we get it. Like that's a big investment. If you're starting a business, that's a big leap to take. And we do not take that decision lightly. And so offering up, this flexible way of joining Kajabi for 3 months, only having to pay $33 a month, which is like by far the most inexpensive I've ever seen it offered. It really allows you to, budget accordingly in your business, test out the platform for 3 months, get a feel if it's right for you, and then continue on with your Kajabi journey, hopefully having launched something and actually made a positive ROI within those 3 months. So definitely would encourage you to do so. And if it's not the right fit, then that's okay as well. But definitely want to make sure that you have the space to budget accordingly, because we know how important that is when you're just starting a business. Lauren asked, what are the advantages that Kajabi offers in comparison to Thinkific? So this is a great question. I would say the top differences and the advantages that you have joining something like Kajabi versus Thinkific is the fact that we truly are an all-in-one platform. And so what does that actually mean? I know that term all-in-one gets thrown out a lot. But what that means is that inside of Kajabi, you have the ability to do courses, email marketing, podcast, automation, website building, landing page builder, a CRM where you can actually go in and look at your clients and look at your customers and see the journey that they've taken and track that progress. Whereas I know in Thinkific specifically, I don't believe that they have a website builder. I don't believe that they have email marketing set up. And I know for certain that they don't offer podcast coaching and newsletters. So I would definitely think about it in more of that vein, where Thinkific is more of a course hosting platform with some additional capabilities and functionalities. But Kajabi is going to be literally the only software you need to not only set up your courses, your membership site, your your digital product, but it's also what you need to manage, scale, and sell that product. So it's not just the top part of that, it's everything that follows through with your business. We have a lot of great resources around the differences between us and other platforms. So I would definitely encourage you to go to, we have a blog post about it, and I can drop it in the chat as well. We have a blog post. We also have a YouTube video where we kind of jump into the differences. And you'll be able to see very clearly kind of the comparison there. But definitely the biggest one is that they do not offer email marketing, website building, funnel building, all of these things that are kind of the manage and scale part of your business.
And one thing that I'll add to that is what I love about Kajabi is they're constantly looking to optimize. So they are not satisfied with just being like, here's the product and it remains unchanged for, years at a time. They're constantly listening to feedback, and their engineers are always like working behind the scenes to build better products for all of us. And so like Ali mentioned, the new dev cycle that they just went through, the new developments that they just added with the podcast and, soon like paid newsletter features and whatnot. That's so cool. That is something that I know that people in the community have talked about or asked about, and then it came to life. Or like, I remember on the checkout cart, like people wanted more, more options in terms of smart checkout systems, where if someone doesn't choose an upsell or they choose something different, that you could offer like a downsell or an order bump or something like that. And that was something that the team took in and then was able to build. And so I feel like if you really want to grow long term with a platform that actually listens to their users and is constantly trying to improve based on real feedback, then Kajabi is a great home for your business, because they really care about their customers. And I think that's number one when I'm looking for things to invest in, but also things that I want to actually share with my community.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Ellen. And I'll just add a little bit more color too, is that we're really looking to empower the next kind of phase of what it means to be a digital entrepreneur. So thinking outside the confines of just courses and membership sites, but rather what is holistically everything you would need if you are a creator, an entrepreneur, a coach, a consultant, anyone in this online space looking to offer digital knowledge in return for money. What would you need to be able to scale and manage a successful business? And so I think when you start to open up and think about it like that, it's like the world becomes your oyster of what we're going to create next. And that's really the vision of where podcasting, coaching, and newsletters came from. Because if you look in the landscape today, there's no other online course platform that offers the ability to run even just those three things: podcasting, coaching, and newsletters. And so we really want to make it so easy and so simple for new creators, new entrepreneurs, as well as existing online business owners to have an idea in their head and get that to market and scale a successful digital business. That's the heart of everything we do. And so every new feature that's added into the platform is aimed toward that mission. And I think that's also kind of what differentiates us from just your average course hosting platform or email service provider. So I know the next question from Elizabeth was, what's the difference between Kajabi email service provider versus ActiveCampaign or ConvertKit? I think it's that, right? I think it's that in Kajabi, you're going to find all the tools that you would need. There might be a few pieces of functionality that are not there that you might have in a dedicated email service provider. So one of the examples of this would be like A/B testing, things like that, that has not been baked into Kajabi just yet. I don't know if that's to come, but more of the like granular nitty gritty details that a dedicated email service provider would have. That's probably functionality wise what you're going to be missing. But I will say that everything else in our email service provider is up to par with what you would need as an entrepreneur to scale a successful 6-7 figure digital business. So you look at people like Brendan Burchard, who's used Kajabi for years and runs all of his email marketing through our email system. You can do newsletter style emails. You can do custom domain sending, which is where you send it from your own domain. You can do more like visually designed sequences. So it's more like those like templates that they have in something like a MailChimp, or a little bit more visually aesthetic. You can do that inside of Kajabi. And then the best thing about integrating in the email system is the fact that it's connected to every other part of your business. So when I say this, I mean, you can have someone opt in on your Kajabi landing page and set up an automation right there that basically connects them to a dripped email sequence where you can send out communications, once a day or once every week. When someone does an action on that email sequence, you can subscribe them to something else. So let's say, I opted into an email sequence and now I'm going on day 3 and I click the link in the email and I actually purchase what your offer is. Now inside of Kajabi, me as the creator, I can set up an automation that says, okay, Allie purchased my offer. So now I want to take her from this email sequence to that email sequence and put her on a new customer journey email sequence. And so things like that are just so seamless and so simple, and literally 3 clicks within our email provider, because it's all integrated right there into your pages, into your course, into your podcast, into everything on Kajabi. So I think that's probably the biggest benefit, because you're going to find the email editor is very similar. It's robust. It's on par with what you would find with a standard email service provider. But it's the integration into every other part of your business. That's what's going to make it seamless for you. So I hope that makes sense. Ellen, I don't know if you have anything to add to that as well, because obviously you use Kajabi email, so you could probably speak to it a little bit better than even I can. But yeah, that would be the biggest benefit, I think, from using ours.
Yeah, no, I think you covered it perfectly. I think it's really just thinking about at scale, like how do you streamline your business and really simplify? You guys know me. I mean, that's kind of like literally wearing my marketing minimalist shirt today, but like, you guys know this about me, like in terms of strategy, in terms of software, I am all about simplicity. I think that less is more most of the time. And I think that anytime you can find, a all-in-one solution that is really robust, that's going to long-term pay off more than trying to hodgepodge a bunch of things together. And as you can see, when you hodgepodge things together, it honestly ends up costing you a lot more money. So I hope that helps. Lauren asks, can you go into a little more detail of what each function in Kajabi does specifically and give real life examples of what each thing does? The dummies version, please. Lauren, that is not a dumb question, by the way.
No, not at all. I'm trying to think of a good real life example. So, okay. So we have, a customer, his name is Dean, and he is a retired firefighter. So he was a firefighter for years and years and years, and he retired and decided to go into retirement. And he's awesome. He like rides his Harley all over the United States. He's like really, really cool. So Dean basically said, okay, I'm retired, but I really want to give back to up and coming firefighters, people who want to be firefighters and are, studying and in that season of getting hired on to the individual stations. And so he decided that since he had all of these years, like 40 plus years of being a firefighter, that he had information to share and could actually build a business around this. So what he did is he launched a program where he teaches young trained firefighters how to get hired on at a fire station in their local county. And he basically mentors them. And so he offers a course where when someone purchases, they go through, they get detailed training of how to get hired as a firefighter in their local station. And so he uses Kajabi to do that. He has a website. His website leads to an opt-in where someone says, I'm interested in this. His opt-in basically nurtures those people into saying, hey, if you want to be a firefighter and you're missing, these specific skill sets, I teach this in my course, pay X amount of money, and you can get this course and trained on how to get hired on. And then people go through his course. So that's just like a really high level, like holistic example of someone real life using Kajabi. I think you also have the example of Ellen, who I just like absolutely adore. And I think she's doing wonders in the platform. But basically, if you take a step back and you think of everything you would need to get your knowledge in the hands of someone else and start a business, that's what each individual feature does inside of Kajabi. So you have websites, which is going to be anything external facing, right? So like you go to ally.com and it's my entire business and it's my about me. And in that website, I can have multiple landing pages. So a landing page is just like a sales page, a checkout page, a thank you page, an opt-in page, those types of things. You can have as many pages as you want within your website. And then from there, you also have blog functionality. So you can host your blog on Kajabi. You have analytics. So you can track across all the different pages, what's working, what's not working. The next step is products. So the way that we think about products in Kajabi is courses, membership sites. Membership site is basically really similar to courses, but it's basically just how you structure your content. So a course, if you think about a traditional online course, it has a starting point and it has an end point, and it's trying to teach you a thing within those confines. Whereas a membership site is recurring content. So it's week over week, month over month. Me as a subject matter expert, I'm trying to teach my members how to master a specific thing. So it's ongoing training and content constantly available. So courses, beginning point and an end point, very structured. Membership site, more like subscription-based content that's always evolving, where you're trying to master a specific topic. The next thing in products would be podcasts, like I mentioned. So you can have a public podcast, which is like something you would use for marketing to get people to listen and engage with your content. But you can also do private podcasts where you actually sell your podcast to your members, which is really exciting and new. And then coming soon, like I mentioned earlier, we have coaching, which is more like people paying you for your time, right? So if I'm a coach and I have 5 coaching clients, I could have them purchase my coaching subscription in Kajabi on a Kajabi checkout page. And I give them access to schedule their coaching sessions with me, where we hop on a Zoom and I take notes and I coach them through a specific thing, whatever the topic is that I coach on. And then the last type of product you can offer is a newsletter, which is basically just a paid email subscription. So it's like I'm opting into Ellen's newsletter, and she's going to teach me marketing tips and tricks every single week for $5 a month. And so it's an automatic subscription where I'm paying her $5 a month, and every week I get a marketing newsletter in my email inbox. The next thing, I'm trying to go quickly, so I'm sorry if it's like very, very fast, but the next thing is marketing. So within Kajabi, you have the ability to do email marketing as well as what we call pipelines. Pipelines are incredible. They're basically like marketing funnels. So it takes pages, takes automations, which is like when then sequencing, which means like when someone performs an action, then you're telling Kajabi to do a specific thing. It's all automated on the back end. So pipelines takes pages, automations, and emails, and even checkout pages, and strings them all together. So an example of a pipeline would be if I'm offering a free 5-step PDF on photography, and you have a page where someone can opt into that and say, hey, I want to learn about photography, so I'm going to give you my email in exchange for that PDF. Well, pipeline would be the page where they can opt in. It would trigger that email sequence to send me that PDF if I opted in, and then a thank you page. And it's all automated. So I can just have that running on the back end and not worry about it. And I'm collecting leads for my business that are then eventually, hopefully, going to turn into paid customers. So pipeline is that. And all of this is accounted for on our website as well. So if I'm going way too quickly, I know it's a lot to chew. Please go to our website and you can kind of scroll through in depth for all of the different features and get a real sense of what they do. And then what else? We also have assessments, which is like quizzes and surveys, as well as your checkout page and cart where you can have people fill out their actual like payment information. And then CRM, which is a customer relationship management, where you can go in and actually see, okay, Ellen purchased my course or my subscription. She purchased it on this date. She also was subscribed to this email sequence. I can see all the different details of what Ellen has done in her journey as my customer. I think that's like a really high level overview. I don't even know if I answered the original question, but Lauren, feel free to message me if I confused more or if there's anything that didn't make sense. But there's a lot, like, as you can imagine, there's a lot you can do in Kajabi, and it's very overwhelming. We know that to start a business. And so I definitely would recommend that you kind of take a step back and like take a breath. And when you log into Kajabi, there's so many resources to be able to get you up and running with the thing that you want to do. And then I do see that you said, do we offer analytics? Yes, we do. So we have analytics on everything, on checkouts, on emails, on pages. Everything has analytics. If you are like a subscription business where you're selling a subscription to something, we also give analytics on that. There's like really cool analytics there that you can like see, your average lifetime per customer, like things like that are just kind of a little bit more granular. So yes, we do have analytics.
That was such a good breakdown, Allie. Like, I feel like as you were walking through, I was like, okay, I could see visually, like in the back end, like what.
Yeah, that's how I do it. I always think about that left-hand corner when you log into Kajabi for the first time. There's literally 4 tabs that says like website, products, marketing, and people. And so that's always how I think it's the most like linear to describe what, you get with Kajabi.
And I feel like that's another, like I've mentioned to you guys, what I love about Kajabi is how intuitive it is, even if you're brand new to business. And like I said, when I first joined Kajabi, I was at the beginning of my business journey. I didn't have a website at the time. I certainly didn't have a blog. I didn't have a podcast. I didn't have an email list. I think my email list was like 100 people and I never emailed them, like I didn't have any of these assets. And the beautiful thing about Kajabi is that you do not have to jump in day one and build everything and, try to do all the things at once. You really can start with just one piece at a time. So for me, when I first joined Kajabi, I didn't even build my website. I still didn't build my website, I think, for another like 6 or 8 months after I joined Kajabi. All I did at the beginning was I was like, okay, I have my program, Cubicle to CEO, and I need to give people a way to learn about the program and then check out to, give me their payment information if they want to join. So all I did was set up an offer checkout page, which took me like 15 minutes with their templates. And then I set up a landing page about my program. And that's all I had at the beginning was those 2 things. So you can start simple. You do not need to overcomplicate things for yourself. I always try to assess things based on like, what is the highest priority? Like what is necessary in order for my business to function? And then how can I build out from there? So I hope that helps.
Yeah, I love that example too. And I'll just add in color that we have so many customers and Kajabi heroes who do that same thing. I mean, I had a woman tell me that she, similar to some of those of you in the chat, she didn't have a ton of like investment to give to her business, but she knew she wanted to build something. And so she did like functional yoga, and she pre-sold a course that she hadn't even created yet, and basically drummed up excitement. And she made $30,000 within her trial period of Kajabi by just being so strategic, which the trial period is 14 days, by the way. She was so strategic about what she wanted to sell and how she wanted to sell it, and gathering up her community of like-minded individuals and pre-selling that content so that she could get enough ROI to prove out the value of, okay, Kajabi is worth it, and here's the reasons why. She like literally told me, I feel guilty for making $30,000 during the free trial period of Kajabi. And I said, don't feel guilty at all. We are so excited for you. That's exactly what it's for. So yeah, I think more than anything, like Ellen said, think about it simply, go in with the number one, number two, number three thing that you want to do within your first, 3 months if you're going to take up the promotional offer. Just be really smart about executing on those things, and you're going to prove out the value very, very quickly, and you're going to learn and you're going to iterate. So I know Lauren had asked if you start the 3 months right away. So yes, as soon as you sign up, the 3 months starts and you're off to the races, and you can use Kajabi. And the nice thing is like Ellen mentioned earlier, we do have a free 45-minute phone call with our customer success team, where one person from the team will jump on Zoom with you, walk through your account. They'll screen share they'll answer any question that you have about Kajabi. We have an amazing 25,000 person Facebook group filled with Kajabi heroes, where you literally could go and ask any question day or night, and you're going to get any answer you need. So we really are so leaned into making sure that you feel like you have a community of not just people at Kajabi, but a community of your peers who are doing this alongside you and can answer anytime you get stuck. So yeah, I love that you share that, and that you are encouraging people to think simply about it, because it really doesn't have to be as complicated as I know a lot of tech software companies make it sound.
Yes, 1,000%. And Ali, I know that we're a few minutes over, so I just want to be super respectful of your time. Thank you so much for joining us for this Q&A. And Lauren, by the way, for pre-selling your course, if that's a skill you want to learn, we actually cover that in our Pay to Create live challenges. So Ali joins us as a guest expert during that too. So if you want to just, I'll have my team drop the link for you, Lauren, if you want to sign up for the waitlist for our next one. But anyways, thank you all for hanging out with us today and asking your questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop it in the chat, and I'll forward as many on to Kajabi as I can. If there are any that I can't answer, most of them I probably will be able to answer. So feel free to drop it in the chat. I'll be active and making sure that you guys get all your questions answered. And if you want to take advantage of the 3 months for a $99 deal, it expires on July 26th, right, Ali?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So make sure that if you want to do this, do not miss this boat. I don't know if they'll ever bring it back. So sign up like ASAP today. Just go to ellenyin.com/Kajabi99 if you want to take advantage of that promo. And if you're someone who's like, I just want to try it free for 14 days and see what this is all about, if you want to do that one, just go to ellenyin.com/Kajabi, just Kajabi, and that will give you the 14-day trial. So thank you, Ali, for joining us. I super appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ellen. You guys are in amazing hands with Ellen. I would highly recommend, Lauren, you join the Pay to Create challenge, because she's incredible and literally walks through like what she does on Kajabi and how she's seen success. So would highly recommend that. But yeah, as always, Ellen, it's so nice to chat with you, and feel free to reach out with any questions that pop up.
Awesome. Thank you, Ali.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, thank you so much again for tuning into this live. Any questions, drop in the chat. And as always, I just want to also say a thank you to any of you who do decide to use Kajabi and support us by using our partner link. As you guys know, I'm very selective with what I choose to promote to you guys, especially when it comes to software. I have a few rules for any software that I promote to you guys. I have to be a user myself. It has to be a part of my business, and it has to be something that I am actively paying for or would be willing to pay for to actually use in my business. So this is a software program that I've vetted out for almost 3 years now. So it's tried and true. It is the most important platform that I use in my business on a day-to-day basis. So thank you for, being here and willing to learn and try new things to help optimize your business. And thank you for also supporting us through using our partner link, because any commission that we get from that helps us be able to fund the things that we do to support you guys, like our podcast. That's 100% free content that we produce on a weekly basis for you. And so any affiliate commission that we earn from our other referrals, it helps us to be able to fund projects like that for you guys. So thank you guys. Great questions. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Bye.